Happy New Year, everybody, and welcome to the first 2023 episode of the Chicken Chess Club podcast. My name is Gustafsson, and since we do things differently, you could say worse, on the Chicken Chess Club, we have chosen our first episode of the year to be a recap of the year 2022. There's not that much happening in the chess world right now. Everybody's awaiting the Vikings tournament, but we know there's always a lot happening in Laurent Fressinet's private life. Laurent, how are you today?
I'm good. Not much happened since the celebration of the new year, as I was slightly tired. So yeah, I'm good, and I'm happy to make this recap. Yeah, indeed, not much will happen since. Until Vikings, and well, it's always nice, to make a recap because a lot of things have happened actually this year. It's been a crazy year. We'll see.
That was a recap, everybody. See you next episode. Thanks, Laurent.
We will talk about it later. But so many youngsters appeared, and of course, the big scandal. But we'll come to it later.
How was your New Year? Was it excessive?
It was. Yeah. Now, how about you?
Nah, civilized. I was at some dinner with my kids, other kids. I got very drunk, surprisingly. But other than that, not much to report.
Yeah, it was okay, but I went to bed too late. That was a mistake, as usual.
2 a.m.?
a bit later. So yeah, no, that's always the same mistake. But yeah, we are not learning. So, but it was nice.
What can you do? A man who's an eager learner is Magnus Carlsen's head coach, Heine Nielsen. Peter, where are you these days?
Me, I'm in my house in Cholet, where we are sort of spending the Christmas, New Year vacation time. So I'm basically at home. So that's nice. But you're right. I'm very much an eager learner. So my new hobby this year so far has been to not debate with human beings, but I'm starting to debate against AI these days, because there is this new chat program online that's actually, you can chat with. And yesterday I got into a huge fight about you with it, actually.
So finally, you found a friend. That's fantastic news. I'm very happy.
Yeah. No, I wanted to prepare for this episode, so I asked it, who's actually the best chess streamers in the world? And the chat program thought of it. It said it's Hikaru Nakamura and Jan Gustafsson. And I thought, Jan Gustafsson, really? And he said, yeah. Jan Gustafsson is a well-known and very strong German grandmaster who's known for his chess openings, but he's also an excellent chess streamer, and he's a very successful chess coach, which
stop trolling, Peter. It's too much.
Who is praised by all his students. And I said sort of to it, can you actually at least come up with some kind of examples or evidence that he's such an excellent chess coach? And it said that I should understand it's an AI agent, so he cannot come up with personal experiences, but that's at least what you can see that other people talks about Jan. So there is no direct evidence, but at least there is secondary evidence like this. And then he suggested, but of course, if you want to have direct evidence, why don't you contact Jan Gustafsson yourself? Then I told the chatbot.
No, it's too much.
Leave me alone. Outside the podcast. Leave me alone.
I told the chatbot that, I tried contacting Jan, but he doesn't reply to me. And then it became sort of very caring for me. I said, yeah, but it's normal that you admire someone and that they don't really respond back to you. And that, of course, can be hard for you personally, but maybe Jan is very busy doing other things. But you can learn from Jan by watching some of his streams or things like that. And at that point, I decided to turn off my computer. So
I like that I'll start talking to it.
Yeah.
I tried, actually. I also tried. It's very funny.
It's very impressive, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, it can prepare. You give the topic, you want to make a speech, and it gives you something very, very impressive. So yeah, I tried probably less than you.
Probably
you just started one of your conversation, but I was toying around for let's say 20-30 minutes, and it was fun. Yeah.
Sounds excellent. Shall we get to the 2022 recap? What a year in chess it has been. We've had a candidates tournament. We've had plenty of drama. We've had a lot of exciting newcomers. And what we will do is we will go through a list of categories brought to us by our beloved producer that we, especially Laurent, put in lots of thought and time to come up with an accurate answer to give you the most objective, science-based, timely, factual recap of the year 2022. Let's begin with the category Best Newcomer. Peter, who you got?
I got Gukesh. I might have taken Abdusattorov if it wasn't because he won the World Rapid and Blitz the previous year. So, there is many to choose from, but I basically chose Gukesh in terms of a year ago. I would not be able to at all explain who he is or why he's good at chess. And so in that terms, he was a revelation for me that, you look at it like rookies in American sports. It's someone I had no clue who was, and suddenly he's there, and I see him as a major player. So that's why I've chosen him over, for instance, Abdusattorov or Kamer, because these guys I actually know. For me, Gukesh came out of the blue and turned out to be an amazing player. And it could be ignorance on my part, but so be it.
So you discovered Gukesh at the same time Sutovsky discovered Nihal Sarin.
Something like that, yeah. Thanks a lot for the comparison. But I remember specifically, maybe even in June, I was at a chess camp in the States, and Ågård was talking about which Indian of the prodigies is the strongest, and he was mentioning maybe Gukesh, and I thought, okay, actually, I really don't know who that guy is, and now I do. He made himself a name.
So I will show immediately that so you say that you are lying, Jan, and that I did my homework, as always. I also chose Gukesh. He's the highest rated of these kids. So see, I even checked the rating list. You can fact check, no worries. And I chose him because
Gukesh 2725, Erigaisi 2722. You're not wrong. Abdusattorov 2713.
And Erigaisi actually is 19, and that's the second reason I took him. I think Kamer, I'm spoiling your name, but they're all very good, but he's the youngest, and actually he made the best performance in classical, which matters the most to these days. It might change, but that's two points I wanted to make: age and classical chess. All the other guys did incredibly well, and I'm very impressed by Kamer, Erigaisi, and Abdusattorov. But still, I would rate Gukesh a bit higher.
Fair enough. I would also add Pragnananda to the list if you don't have a priority on classical, but what he did in rapid was absolutely amazing as well. But I chose Vincent Keimer because I'm a homer, and I would guess if we want to find reasons for the choice, for me, it's more through my German lens. He finished his school in February, and the way he's improved within the year since being done with high school or whatever you want to call it has just been amazing. Starting with the Grand Prix, then in the Champions Chess Tour. I got a front row seat at the Olympiad where I was sitting next to him, and I discovered how incredibly strong he is. And now the Rapid Vice World Champion title was, of course, a nice end to the year. But I'll admit, I'm a little biased, and I think picking Gukesh or Abdusattorov or Erigaisi, you can't really go wrong either.
No, that's interesting. That's a good point. That we don't know what's the school status with the other guys. It's a good info because when you are fully focused on chess, it's a different story. Of course, you improve much faster. So it's interesting. Now, of course, Kamer, I was also very, very impressed. While what he did in the rapid was simply amazing.
They're all strong. We will see them soon in white. Maybe we'll talk about it on the next podcast, right? So.
I noticed no one picked Nima 2706.
He'll be covered later, I think.
No.
Next category is Best Streamer. I'm not an expert because I don't watch a lot of chess streams, so I will hand over to the premier expert, Laurent Fressinet.
Yeah, so I'm not watching a lot of streams, but I only watch one, which is Nakamura is full of energy. Well, he has the best numbers. I don't know. He was bragging about some numbers and was. I mean, it's not my. Even if I, I don't really. I'm not a big fan, because I know the guy, but he's good. I mean, I must admit he's good. Yes, he's full of energy, which is amazing. The first time I saw him tired, it was when he was doing this recap, doing World Rapid and Blitz. Then he was doing the recap, and he looked quite tired. But yeah, he's the best because he has the best numbers.
Go. Hard to refute Laurent with the numbers-based approach. I chose Naroditsky. I have to admit, I'm not watching him very much, but I hear people really are enjoying his content. The speed runs, he has beginner stuff, advanced stuff. He's very, very strong at bullet, and many people have become fans, but of course, hard to go against any of the other amazing streamers out there. Nakamura, the Botas sister, still going strong. Anna Krumling with record numbers. But frankly, I don't watch enough chess streams. Peter, do you watch any chess streams?
Extremely rarely, but I have actually, both the two you mentioned, I've had some contact with in terms that I've actually seen a bit of Nakamura streams, but we talk really a bit. I saw a bit during St. Louis and then maybe once later. And Naroditsky, he's given me a lift the previous year. So I mean, I actually know who you guys are talking about, but most likely you will not know about the streamers I watch, because the chess streamer I've seen the most is it's a Polish female shogi player I have seen, Karolina Staszinski. She's that's basically the only chess streamer I've been seeing this year. She sits there, she reads aloud a Japanese books, because none of us can understand Japanese, and goes through that. So that I have spent some hours on, but that's probably not really chess. So having to choose something I have actually seen, I chose Matthew Sadler, which I really think he's underrated. I mean, well, Sadler's...
Does he stream?
He's not a streamer.
He's a YouTube, but I'm sorry.
That doesn't count.
Are you serious?
He doesn't do live streams. No, he does videos.
Yeah, he's doing videos. Okay, no,
yeah, I mean... That's something else.
Yeah, Peter didn't know the definition of a streamer. That I was suspecting when I saw his answer.
I understand that streamer is live, but I thought that... we could make an exception for guys of my age group who cannot tell the difference, but no. Then I don't see any streamers. Yeah, it actually has to be live. Then I have only seen Nakamura. But well, Sadler...
Actually, I will back up your point, Peter. I saw Sadler streaming during the match, the Nepo-Carlsen match. He was streaming every day with Kasparov. So Kasparov was coming and giving his opinion on the match, on the games. Maybe it was recorded, actually. It was not live. No.
Yeah, it was recorded. I think he usually does recorded videos.
Yeah,
that's good stuff.
He does, and he is... Sadler is my kind of guy, right? He, of course, only does computer games. Computer games, chess engines playing against each other. It's... while others cares about the setting, he's doing it from a basement with basically no sunlight, and you can maybe see some curtains drawn somewhere. And it's just pure chess context, and he will do a long series of games, and suddenly you say, okay, there was this very fascinating opposite-colored bishop ending, and he will do a 40-minute episode on that, right? So the audience is perhaps not that big, but I find it very interesting. But the popular streamers, I'm sorry, I cannot really help you with.
All right, moving on. Best dressed. Easy. My boy, Anish Giri. Who is a sharp dresser in the chess world? Magnus always well dressed, but okay, he has all these custom-made clothes with his sponsor stuff on. And Giri to some extent as well now. I'm not sure if that loses a bit in the dressing style. But the people that are celebrated, like Levon, I don't really see it. I don't like his style. I know it works for him, but it's not for me. So I'm going with Anish.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, me too. I'm going with Gary, because I must admit that I think I agree that Magnus is generally better dressed, but he's not consistent. I mean, sometimes he comes, like in the Olympiad, while Giri, I never saw him like, even in the Olympiad, he's always taking care of how he's dressing. So I think he wins the contest for consistency.
Well, first of all, I dislike having look-based competition and object to that. But of course, if I have to pick a winner, it would be very much be Aronian. I mean, he has character. He's interesting to look at, and also has considerable style points in my point of view. I mean, Geary, I just don't get. I mean, it's boring, frankly. And with no personality whatsoever. No, I think Aronian, he makes his mark. He has thought about it, and he doesn't care what others think. And that I thoroughly respect if I had to choose. So that's very much my. I mean, Jan guns at my guy, I guns at him. I think it's fair enough.
No, congrats, Laurent. Peter likes your style. Moving on to the best controversy. Maybe we start with Peter here, because I'm assuming Laurent and I have the same.
Yeah, I mean, you have chosen the obvious winner, and I would probably also go in that direction. I would also be tempted to have a runner-up in the Geary hack, but of course, I cannot hide that I think the events with FIDE and the Russia things, when the war became full-scale, I think Djokovic should have been immediately removed, and I could go into that for a whole show, but I think enough said that. That is the biggest chess scandal because also it has perspectives much further than that. But let's over to you and talk about the chess scandal. Actually,
what can you say? It's Hans Niemann against the world, starting in the Sinquefield Cup, or at least publicly starting in the Sinquefield Cup with Magnus Carlsen losing the game to him because of some crappy preparation by Laurent. And then Magnus retiring from the tournament with this tweet saying, "If I speak, I'm in big trouble." And the events that unfolded from there with the whole chess world playing detective, us included, for a couple months. Then the Chesscom report. And of course, the 4 times $1 million lawsuit brought
5
to you. 5 times? Did I miss someone?
Yeah.
Who's number 5? It's Magnus Carlsen, the Play Magnus group, Chesscom, Nakamura. Who's number 5?
Daniel Rensch, personally?
No,
it's 4 times.
Okay.
It's 4 times. You're wrong. Yeah, no, I mean, and also it's of course it was a big controversy, but it's also about cheating. We heard this online stuff during the pandemic became big, and nobody was, talking about it publicly. And then it came, and it came like a storm, and now we have new. I don't know. I'm not playing that much, but maybe I played 2 games in Bundesliga and 5 days in Israel. I was checked 3 times. So, it's a big, it's a kind of...
you are suspiciously strong.
Very suspicious, but I was not the only one. So, people are checking. So this is a new way to do chess tournaments. And, it's a big thing. That's what happened was a really big thing.
But this is the internal consequences. I mean, basically, for instance, Danish news has been covering it all the time. I mean, it's breaking that now this happens, that happens, the report is out or things like this. And even, would they be able to play each other in the World Rappler and Blitz? Danish media, who doesn't care at all about that tournament, was referring Norwegian articles about the subject.
But it got a lot of publicity because of this anal plug stuff, yeah? Mainly.
Partly, but not only, I would say. Even before that, it's the first time in my life that I decided to shut off my phone because I didn't want to be disturbed by journalists contacting me. Generally, no one cares, but at that stage, it became insane, in my opinion.
Yeah, actually, I was contacted a lot.
Me too.
Yeah, we know. But also, even Germany was. I mean, they also covered it a lot. I assume, right?
Oh, it was all over the place. Any comedy or news podcast I listened to was all over it. Of course.
It's too good material.
Often the anal beats being the headline. Yeah. But many people also try to get into it seriously. Shout out to the chess brass. I forgot about them in Best Streamer.
Oh,
That's true actually.
no, we had actually Danish journalists not testing out anal beats, but similar on live shows. And I mean, as you said, they tend to do it comedically, but still there was a lot of content in it as well. And also, well, for the chess world, it seems to have consequences. Of course, Laurent would like to mention his Bundesliga games, but even bigger than that. And as I assume, it's still an ongoing story, right? I mean, we're all waiting for the FIDE report, or is it just me, or how does it
Just you.
It's just me. Okay.
That's just it.
Okay. No, and
Yeah, actually, it takes quite a while. How long did they start this FIDE report?
They had a news story that wasn't coming out anytime soon.
Okay.
On the FIDE website.
Wow. You're the one who knows more about that. So, I mean, well, I don't know. Do you see it as something that could actually massively hurt our sport? Is it mainly entertainment? Or
I'm waiting for the lawsuit, not the FIDE report. Like,
yeah, that's also stalled a bit. I mean, I thought that Niemann was given some time to reply to some things, but I don't know what happened. Or
yeah, I also haven't followed very much, but I think he just had to meet some formal requirement within a week. I assume he did, but yeah, I haven't heard a lot of news on that recently.
No.
Other than that, I think it's good the cheating topic is more out in the open than all this speculation and private chats we've had for years. And even the names that aren't publicly talked about, people, kind of know about now. So it's, I guess it's going into a good direction. Where it will end up, I have no idea, because it still has the potential to destroy chess as well, with cheating getting that much attention and more people getting into it. From the competition I've seen, it looks like at the highest levels, to me, the game is still very much intact. So I'm not that worried, but of course it's a topic that will keep us busy, probably for years.
Yeah. Good direction, I don't know. I mean, I'm annoyed at, for instance, the delay of coverage. I think it spoils events to a certain extent. Well, we've spoken about
come on.
that.
This is Rapid and Blitz. It was 3 minutes in Rapid and 1 minute in Blitz. Can you tell me what did it change? I think you just come up with this argument all the time that the delay is...
Yeah, there is a risk it will be spoiled, that, when things are exciting, someone will tweet, okay, this guy actually won. And
1 minute delay. You cannot really miss
1 minute delay, maybe, but and
Rapid.
There is a lot of focus on it, but not. I mean, well, as they're saying, we're doing all these kind of checks, and I think Sutovsky was tweeting that we were doing a lot of things and no one was caught, but that's not necessarily a success, right? And I think it's still something that's gonna be a pain for us that has no really good solution. I cannot suggest one at least. So, I mean, if it's going to be good or bad, I don't know. But I agree with Jan, of course, that I'm a big transparency guy, and that we actually get something that concerns a lot out in the open is very healthy, no doubt. So that much I will give him.
Let's move on. A lot of categories to get through here. Book of the year. I read like 5 chess books, and the one I liked best was Think Like a Super Grandmaster by Mickey Adams and, I'm a horrible person, Philip Hurtado. I'm not sure I got the name right, but I got a lot of the exercises right in the book, and that's why I liked it. No, but seriously, I thought it was a good book, good concept, trying to explain more how people really think over the chessboard, not these, here are 7 pages of computer analysis, you idiot didn't solve it, which is a bit of a tendency, I think, in these calculation books. So I like Think Like a Super Grandmaster.
Mm-hmm. I also think it was a great book. I probably read a bit more books than you guys, but still considerably less. Of course, I read quite some openings book, but I'm paranoid about giving away that, I will study winning with the modern or something like that, so that people could deduct information like that. So, I mean, the books I really liked this year, but I'm not going to nominate them because they're number 3 in a sequel. For instance, both this, I think this Laska sequel there is, and then there is this sequel on the Soviet chess championships. I think are just excellent books that brings in a lot of new information, a lot of research, and are well written, and I find them incredibly interesting. So, I mean, these books I would heavily recommend, but I think to nominate something that's part of a sequel also becomes a bit weird if they win year after year after year. So, I've chosen to be semi-political once again, and take the book called From Ukraine with Love. And it's basically a joint effort by a lot of Ukrainian chess players that very shortly after the invasion, I think in March it was made, and it was out in April, they made sort of a book on the heritage of Ukrainian chess, talking about their former masters and their own careers, and made a lot of highlights of that. And I think that was a cool concept, doing it at some point where the existence of their nation is in doubt, and also that they actually succeeded in making a good book, I think deserves praise and merit. So that is going to be my choice.
Laurent, do you read any chess books?
No, I was very much into chess books. Like I was going to the shop, to the library in Paris, like twice a month, I would say, and buy something almost
obsessive.
every time. But I lost this. No, really, I had a lot of chess books.
We believe you. I meant last year.
Yeah.
I lost this habit during the pandemic, and actually I'm becoming more stupid by the day. And now I'm spending my free time watching Naka, and I bought some chessable courses as well. But I didn't read any chess books, which is a shame. I should definitely, but I lost this habit, going to the shop, checking the books, and I lost it during that that pandemic, which is a pity. I should come back to it, and think like a super grandmaster. Actually, that should be interesting. I guess, but I don't know.
Some were explaining in me that it was not aimed at higher rated players like ourselves, but more for lower rated. But I don't know how you feel about that.
Yeah, I think I agree. But it made me feel good because I could solve it.
Yeah, that's.
But no, I think it was still interesting because they had some high rated players as well, and they described how they thought about it, and then lower rated players to see their thought process and what they would miss and things that might be obvious to us. So I thought it was interesting information, even for...
I thought a great concept, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, higher-rated people. But yeah, I guess it's mainly aimed at slightly lower-rated. All right, next category. The best tournament of the year 2022. Peter, what do you got?
Yeah, I have over-the-board tournament. I have the Olympiad because I thought... the Indians pulled off a magnificent tournament with at short notice, and I've been praising all the chess volunteers before because they were so much into chess and that they gathered them from the whole country like this. Having said that, I was only there a few days and mainly hanging out at the FIDE Congress. Well, you guys were there for the tournament for 2 weeks, so maybe I'm biased by just having a glimpse of it while you guys saw how it was. But that was my choice there. But of course, if I only can choose one, I will take the Mr. Dodgy Invitational. Mainly just because it's such a good or rather strange story. I mean, it's a fictional character that we barely know the name of, although I think... he outed himself during the Sitges tournament, and I thought it just started out as a indeed good joke in the first season, and then, the normal thing would be to stop it before it becomes embarrassing. But rather than that, it kept going, and now even the world champion is playing it, and it's still named after a fictitious character. I find somehow that it's too funny that it's possible to do something like that, because it really shouldn't be possible. But it works out, and it was great content. So for some reason that tickles my kind of humor, and I also think it's both funny but a good product as well.
Congratulations, Mr. Dodgy.
Yeah. Well, he's also having a lot of fake prizes he gives to himself, but this one is at least from me for real.
All right, Laurent.
Yeah, no, I chose, of course. My guess was that it was between candidates, Olympiad, and Rapid and Blitz candidates. I didn't think it was exciting, actually. At the end of the day, just Nepo, it was...
You're just doing all the FIDE events, yeah?
Yeah, no, but it's one... I mean, like, there was no, let's say, no intrigue at the end of the tournament, which is a pity. Olympiad, it's for me very hard to judge because I don't know if from outside is that exciting or not, because I'm taking part in this Olympiad, so, I'm in my home tournament, so it's difficult to judge is that as The thing, but the one I was watching and the one I was commenting, which was incredibly exciting, is as every year, this World Rapid and Blitz. There's a lot of rapid events online, but that one, this live Rapid and Blitz makes it very, very special. You can see the faces of players, the excitement. They look much more, strangely enough, there's much more tension in those games than in these online games. So it seems to me that players, they care much more. I don't know why. Probably because it's you get a title of world champion, but also you face the other guy. And I guess it's a different feeling online. So that was for me the best tournament, because this is the best format.
There you go. I went with the obvious and only correct choice, the candidates. I mean, we didn't have a world championship match. So to me, it's still the crown jewel of chess is the world championship match. And then it's exciting to see who qualifies. And I disagree. There wasn't excitement because we sort of knew officially or unofficially that Magnus most likely wasn't defending his title. So there was a lot of intrigue until the last round who would finish second and who would play in the next match. And I think it also had a lot of storylines with Fabi looking amazing in the first half, then losing to Nakamura, collapsing, Nakamura coming so close to the second place, but Ding hanging in there after yet again a bad start. Then the unlikely repeat from Nepomniachtchi just destroying the field. I thought it was exciting and I was entertained by every single round. I agree the World Rapid Blitz is great fun too, but the stakes don't feel as high to me as for the candidates. And yeah, the Olympiad, okay, I was also there. I have mixed feelings. I thought it was a great event, incredibly well organized at short notice. But for me, it was also mainly being trapped in our hotel, which was very nice, I have to say. But you couldn't go outside. When I would go to the front door, there would be 10 guards saying, "Sorry, sir, you're our guest. You're too important. You can't go." So other than this being in the playing hall and at the Bermuda party, where, yeah, we had a good time, but it ended too early. I didn't really get to interact with many people. And as a spectator, I can't judge, but of course, it showed a lot of great performances by up-and-coming youngsters, which we'll get to. So it was exciting, but for me, it's the candidates. It's clearly number one.
Did the guard, did they white shame you in India?
Where's that?
When you tried to get out of the hotel, did they white shame you or not?
No, there was no white shaming. It wasn't like in Thailand, because I didn't manage to go out, so people couldn't laugh at my very white legs.
Well, I was staying at the FIDE Delegates Hotel, and of course we could leave whenever we felt like it and have a good time in the city. Not that I did it much, but I will give you at that, from a chess perspective, of course the candidates was the event I cared by far the most and look forward to and enjoyed watching. I was more thinking, well, best tournament, that was at least partly in an organizational manner, not rather than pure chess content. So maybe I misunderstood my task for a change.
No, I mean, I don't know. It could be.
Yeah.
Let's get to the next category, best individual tournament performance. I went, speaking of the Olympiad, with Gukesh. I don't even know his final result, but him starting with, what was it, 7.5 out of 8, crushing everybody in his path with white. No, it was 8 out of 8, right?
I think it was 7 out of 7 or 8 out of 8.
Yeah, and then maybe he made a draw as black against Caruana. We could all joke that.
No, he beat Caruana.
Ah, sorry.
No, with Mamedov.
Yeah. But it's like something like, no, it was ridiculous. I mean,
it was completely insane. Of course, he lost this pivotal game up to Satorov, where he, I don't know, overpushed or lost the threat, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, that was the sickest performance I have seen all year.
Uh-huh. Well, I was cheating a bit here. We call it best individual tournament, but I took the Uzbek Olympiad team because I thought that Uzbekistan winning a chess Olympiad and winning it in a very deserved manner is that's quite a sensation. I understand, of course, that neither Russia nor China was playing, but the US so-called dream team was there and was supposed to be so much stronger than everybody else. But the Uzbek won fair and square in a convincing manner. I thought that, that is a serious sensation. Maybe you can argue that years back Armenia was doing something else, but I still think Armenia was considered in a higher league than Uzbekistan before the event.
I think because you're not following. I thought before the Olympiad that they were clearly a dark horse.
Okay.
I mean, it was not impossible that they would win. They have a young team.
No, it wasn't impossible, but even so, it was incredibly impressive.
They have a very, very young team, and people are improving. This guy Sindarov, for instance, he outplayed Ali Reza in the World Cup. I mean, all these names we knew, and we knew they were. I mean, I knew actually they were like underrated, basically, and they were number 16, I think. Or number 15, and France was number 16. So the first day I saw their team, I saw our team, I thought, okay, they have better chances. They have much, much better chances than us to do something great.
Then I assume you have chosen yourself some underdog performing well for your choice, right?
No, I think we are getting used to that, but I think it's just amazing to get the Triple Crown. And Magnus he's still the world champion in classical. He's not going to defend, but he didn't lose his title. And he's winning back the rapid and blitz. I think that's amazing, actually, to win in all three categories. I'm not sure when Magnus will at some point, he will quit or become weaker, or probably both, actually, at the same time. But to win the Triple Crown, I don't think it will be repeated very, very often. I mean, it's just amazing, and so many strong players, and it's only, let's say, 13 rounds in the rapid, so it's a bit random as well. But it's the third time he's doing that, and that's, for us, it became a bit, something possible, normal. But actually, I think it's really amazing.
Was pretty amazing. So to sum up, in best individual tournament performance, Laurent chose 2 tournaments, the Rapid and Blitz, and Peter chose the team performance. Let's move on to... Oh, I didn't see this category. Is it new? FIDE Official of the Year. Exciting category. We'll start with the expert. Laurent, who's your FIDE Official of the Year?
Yeah, I didn't know whom to pick, but... I thought it was very surprising to see Anand there. He's still a very strong player. I saw a tweet. I shared with you that it's been 30 years. He's over 2,700. So, yeah, I mean, it feels a bit weird to see Vichy in the middle of this Congress, FIDE Congress, with all those guys who are saying for so many years. I don't know. So, for me, it's a bigger surprise to see someone like Vichy in the middle of this mess. Let's call it that way.
For me, it's clearly Nigel Short. Wasn't clear if he was in or if he was out. He had this tweet: "I'll either have a lot to say or a lot to do." And then he started a beautiful trip throughout Southeast Asia, all the exotic islands you want to be on. In wintertime, growing the game. Well played, Nigel. I think he's even an employee. He gets paid. So Nigel, clearly my FIDE comeback official of the year. Congratulations.
I don't know if he's an employee, but I think he gets. I think but he gets some money one way or another. That's his honest person.
He gets a salary.
Okay,
I mean,
okay, that's amazing.
Very
actually,
so
I will speak, or you just give me a job. Yeah. That's what he meant, yeah, with his tweet.
Yeah.
We don't know.
I'll speak out.
You mean anything? Peter, who you got?
I have looked at it more from a sort of competition point of view, who I think has improved his or her status the most within the FIDE hierarchy. And then I think the obvious choice is Dana Rajnic-Osola. I mean, I think she's clearly the number 2 in FIDE right now, and the likely successor to Dvorkovic in 3 or 4 years' time. So I have just looked at it from a pure sort of, let's say, power perspective, like it was a chess tournament. Who is sort of, I think there was many trying to get that, and she clearly succeeded. So I think that's my conclusion. So no gossip or anything, just pure power rankings for my part.
Big fan of Dana. Whenever I see her, she looks energetic. She's doing stuff. in a good mood. So I think she genuinely, for a change, seems to be putting in a lot of effort to grow the game whenever she's somewhere. I don't know much about the internal power struggles.
No, I mean, like, what I kind of agree with you, Jan, but she didn't respect this. She was an employee, or she's still an employee. And during there's these 3 months, where you cannot campaign. And she was basically traveling all the time to every country. I mean, talking about probably something else than the election, but maybe sometimes as well, talking about the upcoming election. So making sure...
That's why I chose Nigel. He waited for the election to be over to start his big trip.
It's actually an interesting point, yeah.
Yeah, no, but I mean, it's not, you cannot, you have to respect the rules, yeah. I mean, and she didn't, so she's losing credit into my eyes.
Yeah.
All right. I'll be alone on that appeals committee. It's all right. Quote of the year category number 9. Laurent, you want to keep going?
Yeah, okay. It's clear that this chess speaks for itself was the biggest one. I mean, like Niemann getting crushed right, left, and center during this Miami. I think he lost all his matches, but won one game against Carlsen, against Magnus, and then said chess speaks for itself. That was kind of that was a very arrogant way to do it. So that's for me the most, maybe one of the most memorable. But yours is good, very, very good as well, obviously.
Thank you.
You did work before me, so I had to pick something else.
I chose 2. I'm not sure if that's allowed, but I have very sus chat, very sus, which
that's a good one.
Always cheers me
that
up.
You need to
and
explain.
I think it summed up the second half of the year. Like we were all playing detective. Everything was a little suspect, but in the end, no one came up with much evidence from what I've seen, or I'm sure you could dispute that. But I think it sums up the mood of the chess world in the second half of the year. And then there's also, of course, not really a quote, but more a tweet, a Mourinho quote. If I speak, I'm in big trouble, which led to all this mess in the Magnus Carlsen tweet. Peter, what do you have?
I have, I wasn't born yesterday. Well, it's by Sokolov. He did, in my opinion, an excellent, a very interesting interview after Uzbekistan won the Olympiad, where he sort of explained how he's been working with the team. And it's a very interesting read in general about chess coaching. And I thought there was many sort of peculiar points, but this one is basically he talks about the Bermuda party. The kids want to go there, and he says, "Well, you can't go there." They tell him, "Yeah, we'll just go there a little bit," and he just looks at them and says, "I wasn't born yesterday," and forbids them to do that. And we all know Sokolov and that he was doing it a lot in his youth. So basically, he's enforcing that, but it gives.
But I think he quit in his early 20s. No, like.
You could be right. I wouldn't know. Would be the honest answer. But I just thought it was a great quote from a great interview. And to be fair, you had chosen the good one, so I had to come up with something else.
Well, you did choose first.
I did, but your choice was predictable. So yeah, I was being nice.
Thank you. Number 10, game of the year. Peter, keep going.
Yeah, there is many good games, but for me the standout game is it's played maybe more than 30 times. This is this Berlin draw where they just keep repeating the same game and agreeing a draw. And for me it stands out in the way that it's a strange strength in our sport, and this makes a big impression on me that we actually just have a game you can go and play and repeat it and then leave. Even I can say it was a different game. It was this Grinfeld game that. That is the more the things I think about. Of course, there was many great games. You will mention some, but for me, this is the one that makes an impression. That it's a strange sport we have. That 2 players can just go there, get it over in 1 minute, and we just shrug our shoulders and move on. But I guess I'm making anything political these days.
Yeah, I'm not sure it's a 2022 thing, this Berlin.
No, you're right.
I'm sure I've seen plenty in 2020 and 21, but it doesn't make it any better.
I was also trying to avoid choosing one game instead of others because there is many candidates, but nothing that really stands out. But you guys had more courage, so let's talk about yours.
Yeah, the game that came to my mind immediately was this game Rapport versus Ding from the candidates. I'm not sure if it's the game of the year or if anything that special happened, but I recall that I was very impressed with it. Like some deep opening prep and a very surprising maneuver to me by Ding in the opening and some, slightly offbeat, but still theoretical Spanish. Ding spends 3 moves playing rook b8, rook b7, rook to c7 when he could have done anything else. And then, very sharp game, very well played by both sides later. Rapport sacrificed a piece to spice it up in time trouble, but Ding reacts perfectly. And Rapport commits one mistake, far from obvious mistake. Ding converts. To me, it was beautiful to see, and I'm still a big fan of peak Ding. Like, we haven't seen him much for obvious reasons, but when he's in shape, like, he's really the whole package. Like, he has very deep ideas. He doesn't lose his cool. He calculates excellently, converts excellently. So that was the game that stood out, or that came to my mind first, but of course, you could argue for anything.
I had forgotten about it. I had to check it. I'm curious. Laurent, do you know instantly which game he's talking about?
No, not at all.
Exactly.
No,
I think Jan's pick is a very expert pick. And when I look through it now, I start recalling it. I think, it was an insane amount of content in one game. But
it was so full. It wasn't just one beautiful combination, but the theory debate, the resilience, the tactics. I thought it was great.
Of course, I can't remember any games, so I took a...
No, but Jan is one... I mean, he will be 1 out of 100 choosing that game, and he will defend it, and he could actually be right. It's...
it's not there's nothing objective, right? It's the game that stood out to me the most, and I think, I have my reasons.
No, also, and with hindsight, a lot was at stake and things like this. I mean, it's an interesting struggle. So, and this is, of course, when it becomes very nice. But
I agree that we want to see more of Ding 2019. Let's hope he comes back for the match. But of course, I saw that game, this Gary Dubov game from the World Rapid, and that was really the kind of games Dubov already played against Karyakin. I remember some prep in the Italian, some crazy game. But that one was just one of Daniel brilliancy, and actually it was played like 1 week ago, so I can still remember it.
Well, I have to ask at this point, is the World Rapid Blitz the only tournament you saw in 2022? Like, you picked it as tournament of the year, you picked it as best performance, game of the year. It's becoming suspect.
That's the only one I can remember. No, but to be more serious, I was really excited by it, and every year I'm really looking forward to it. So I think it's not too long. I mean, it's exact. I think it's the right format. Actually, everything is done perfectly. 3 days, 2 days, 5 days. We are just full of emotions at the end, and it's not too long, not too short. Everything is fine.
I will praise the game a bit. I mean, Dubov has this ability against Giri and against Karyakin. He's done it with both before, to play this extremely provocative style where he just basically plays with contempt and somehow, managed to actually to sort of go through with this kind of playing against passivity. And this game, he just plays like black is completely winning in a slightly worse position and managed to build up incredible attack. And the point is he's doing it on purpose. It's so provocative, and that he managed to pull it off is extremely impressive. I mean,
he's playing against the opponent. He's very clever.
Yeah.
I could...
Well, I think we all understand that these guys can be bluff, but the ability and the courage to do it, I only see Dubov doing to this ridiculous extent that he's... I mean...
Yeah, I understand that it's probably the perfect opponent to do that.
Yeah, he did it the same with Karyakin, beat him 4-0 in a match at some point, and I think that was... he was being so provocative in that match. And, it was very enjoyable. Oh, Jan, you want to stand up for the chickens? Or?
No, I'm good. Let's move on to the next category. Best player. That's an exciting one.
Yeah.
I think we all chose the very surprising Magnus Carlsen in here.
Well,
thanks for adding that category. Who would have thought?
I am contractually obliged, but I think I'm also right. I think there's nothing much to discuss, right? It's you cannot even make an argument against it.
He has a triple crown. He did lose the finals of the Speed Chess Championship to Nakamura, but I don't think that's enough to tip the scales. He also won the Champions Chess Tour. He's still pretty good at chess.
He was shocked. Also, he has an excuse for losing that Speed Chess Championship. He was sad that France lost to Argentina. I think that's I don't know. I don't have any inside info, but that's my bet. That's my guess.
Then we have best female chess player. I went with Lei Ting-je. I'm not sure. You could also make a case, of course, for her countryman, Tan Chong-yi. Both of these were incredibly strong in the candidates tournament. Could make a case for Goryachkina, who I think is the highest rated active player, because I haven't seen that much of Hu Yifan and Zhu Wenjun. But to me, Lei Ting-je seemed a little stronger, is also a little higher rated than Tan Chong-yi, so I went with her.
Yeah, I went with Tan Chong-yi instead, but I agree that it's a toss-up between the two. Just to add what you said, that Goryachkina is actually higher rated than Yu Wenjun at the moment, and I was expecting her to be the player of the year, but she faltered in the candidates, and that of course tips the balance. And well, when I had to choose between Tan Chong-yi or Lei, I chose Tan because of the World Rapid title she added. So for me, it's a toss-up between the two at present, and I think you make a decent point that well, some of the best players has not been active, and especially the current world champion has not played at all, right? So that's a bit strange. I think Goryachkina, she played. Did she play the Open Russian Championship, if I remember correctly?
She did.
Yeah, and she did.
You don't remember the? Okay.
And she didn't sort of falter there, and that was quite impressive in my opinion. But well, then she had a slip up in the candidates, and of course that matters a lot. So.
I'm not going to lie. I'm not following very much the chess, the female chess circuit for different reasons. As we said, the top players are not playing, so I think this lacks a bit of intrigue. In my opinion, also I'm not commenting on such events. And last, but not least, I used to play. I'm playing a lot, and I'm following my former or still colleagues. I don't know, but it's also natural to follow the people against whom you played mostly. So yeah, in general,
you got nothing. What are you saying?
It likes Hu Yifan. It likes Zhu Wenjun playing more. It likes Judith Polgar, but we'll never see her again. And I was the latest story was about Kadema Chaye, but that was outside of the board, and I thought she's an Iranian player who, in protest to Iran government, she didn't play with her scarf. And I thought that was amazing. Now she's in Spain, I was reading. So it's too dangerous for her to come back to Iran. So that's something I really respect and admire her fight for women in Iran, for the women's rights in Iran. So yeah, that's what caught my attention.
Yeah, all the best to her and her family.
For sure.
All right. Category number 12. Best player who isn't Magnus. Laurent, who did you go with?
Alireza, when he's showing up. No jokes. San Luis, 3 out of 3, or no, 2.5. I mean, he lost the tiebreak, but so impressive. Pity in the candidates, but still, we were talking about best newcomers in the first category, and we are naming Gukesh, Kamer, and so on. But let's not forget that Alireza is miles ahead. He was 2,800.
Well, he's doing everything for us to forget him. No, he doesn't play.
Yeah, but when he plays, except the candidates, of course.
But if he plays 2 tournaments per year and one goes horribly, and then you can't say, but when he plays, he's amazing.
Okay, he's world number 1 in Blitz, he's world number 4 in Classical. Let's not forget about that. I mean, these are numbers, and world number 1 in Blitz is like 2,900.
He's obviously amazing, but I find it very hard to call him the non-Magnus Player of the Year 2022 when
best player. I think he's a...
Fair enough, yeah, it's true actually. It's called
best player, and well, you may argue that Ding and Nepo are still a bit ahead, but considering his youth, and his citizenship, you may change your mind.
All I wanted to hear.
Yeah, I know.
I went with Ding. Like, Nepo crushing the candidates was incredibly impressive, of course. But yeah, since it's called best player, and I might be very wrong about this, the next World Championship match will tell us. To me, pick Ding Ding still, I think of him as maybe a little stronger than Nepomniachtchi. I could be very wrong, and we'll see. But yeah, I went with Ding, even though we have seen very little of him. And the candidates, in the end, it was a happy ending, but it didn't go that great for him from start to finish either, with a shaky start. You blame him on the circumstances and so on. But by pure chess strength, to me, if we're not counting Magnus, Ding currently is my number 2. Fabi's always in the mix there, but yeah, he couldn't keep it up at the candidates, had a bad Olympiad. So I still believe in Fabi, but he needs to show us. Peter.
Yeah, I mean, I probably have the problem that I cannot read. So I understood as player of the year not being Magnus rather than the best player. And for that reason, I chose Nakamura. I thought that, he was the story of the year. He was, qualifying to the candidates quite surprisingly, getting a wild card, managing to fight his way through. He did very well in the candidates. He beat Magnus in the Speed Chess Championship. He became the 960 World Chess Champion. I thought that... he was the story of the year. I don't think he's the second best chess player in the world, if that's the question. So, Nakamura, I think, exceeded at least my expectations to a great deal. And while we tend to see him as mainly a streamer, perhaps he is mainly a streamer, but we are forgetting how much a strong player he was. And he reminded us of that to a huge extent this year. But of course, if we're debating who is the second best chess player in the world, I think your candidates are better than mine.
All right. Next category, predictions for 2023. Did I read this? Hang on. Yeah, there's a couple questions. Nepomniachtchi or Ding? That's the World Championship match coming up. Do we know when and where it's held, by the way? I haven't seen news on that recently.
I mean, Mexico is being mentioned, but I think nothing firm on that. There is
there was a month ago, but there was no follow-up, right?
No, I mean, the next FIDE Council meeting is going to be in Mexico, so that's you can take that as a hint if you want. But no, nothing. I don't have neither official nor inside knowledge about it, but that will be my best guess. It's the only thing that's been mentioned, at least.
All right. So the question is Nepomniachtchi or Ding? I went with Ding for the reasons I gave earlier, even though I'm not sure. It feels very 50-50 because Nepomniachtchi also has the experience of this match against Magnus. I think he has a probably better team in place with, a lot of great theoreticians, Vityugov, Leko, Tomaszewski, you name them. He will probably also have the resources. So it's, to me, it's a toss-up, but I'm going Ding.
Yeah, it's a big question mark towards Ding prep and Ding shape. Actually, didn't play much the last couple of years. In candidates, it was very shaky. His opening prep, I don't like it. In general, it's always plays the same, and I don't know. It likes, a surprise, I would say. And as you mentioned, Nepo has this experience of the match. So I much prefer from stylistic point of view Ding, and also simply, I like Ding. I'm a big fanboy, so I'm definitely voting for Ding, but I'm afraid that Nepo will win. Also, he beat Ding in the last candidates. I think he has quite a... I'm not sure about the score, but I think he has a good score against Ding, so I don't know.
So you're saying Ding is the better player, but he lacks a good second. You're applying for a job now, right? Or...
No, I already offered my services to Ding. I don't want to be his chess second. I want to go with him and choose a restaurant, have a walk, and so on. The head of delegation.
Okay.
I think it is someone to,
And appeals committee. I think you can do both.
Yeah. So, I can do that. Ding, if you're listening.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Probably he's not.
I think Ding never misses an episode.
No. Yeah, so I'm going to dissent and take... I'm actually going to agree with Laurent. I also think Nepom. I will actually object a bit to this thing that having match experience helps. I don't know if there's statistical evidence of, that it favors the one who's played many matches against the one who has comes for his first time. I think sometimes the first time gets the best out of people. They are more motivated and things like that. But... I share the same worries than you, that in these big events, Ding's preparation has seemed a bit insufficient. Also, the Chinese as a whole, as a team, doesn't have much experience with these kind of matches. That could be a hindrance. I don't know how Ding will handle that. While Team Nepom seems strong, and as you say, they seems to have unlimited resources. Of course, with the current situation in Russia, who knows? But probably still. And I don't know if it's a big priority for China to that extent, so how much they will help Ding. But his chess skills, of course, are huge when it works for him. I agree that in 2019, he was incredibly strong, and we just haven't seen him much since. And at the candidates, he was not that impressive to me, but it's probably also fair to say that he had to go alone. He was isolated for weeks before, and then he still...
And let's not forget, he still finished second, coming there alone, having a horrible start.
I agree with that. So, there's so much room for improvement, and still he's so good, right? If he can, unleash that potential, it's going to be very hard for Nepom, but my best guess is that it's... rather not, but also I think we Jan says it's 50-50, chooses Ding. I say it's 55-45. We are discussing extremely fine marginals. I don't think we have a clue, and we basically agree with the content as far as I see it, right?
What else do we have? Are there more predictions? Will Magnus regret? Will he qualify for the candidates? Regret giving up his title, I guess. That means...
I didn't really qualify for the candidates. For me, it's completely sure.
But he qualifies by rating. No, that's not going to be hard.
Yeah, he qualifies by rating. Will he play the candidates is a different story. I would think he might play in the candidates. Why not? Will he regret? Actually, I said hard to say, but now that he won both Rapid and Blitz, showing again that he's the best by far. If he wins, let's say, Vaikanze, till he keeps showing he's by far the best, he won't regret. When the day will come and it won't be so clear, okay, then we talk.
Yeah, no one will question his status, right? Yeah. But you actually think he might play candidates? For me, it will be puzzling. He plays candidates, but of course, I cannot rule it out. But
it's what did he say? He thinks it's an interesting tournament. He said that many times. So in general, he likes to play in interesting tournaments, as he did for the World Cup. The previous, I don't know.
Yeah, but are we actually debating Magnus playing the candidates tournament without having said?
But he said explicitly that he's not closing that door of trying to qualify for a match like that. He mentioned explicitly.
That I understand, but could we actually imagine him playing the candidates tournament without making the statement that if he wins it, he will play a World Championship match?
Of course. Why not?
Sounds like him.
Yeah, it sounds very much like him. Actually, I'm really... if you give me some odds, I'm willing to take a bet.
That would be strange, but yeah, fair enough.
I can make like this. He will play the candidates. He will win the candidates, and I'm making prediction. Fresh prediction 2023. He will play the candidate. He will qualify for the candidates. He will play the candidates. He will win the candidates, and he's going to decline the match.
There's no candidates in 2023, right?
Yeah, it's a good prediction you came up with, but it lacks a bit of...
Okay, it's next candidates.
Yeah, okay. Thanks. Okay.
All right. Yeah, hard to say this regrets thing. I would doubt it. I wonder if it will feel strange to him when World Champion Jan Nepomniachtchi or World Champion Ding will be official, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
What is this question? This is a very specific question. Abdu Satoru for Giri, best TPR, best performance rating in 2023. Giri, he's what? He's 2764. Abdu Satoru is 2713. So if he plays anywhere close to rating expectations, Abdu Satoru has to outperform his. But of course, he's on the rise. Could be close, but I'm going Giri.
How old is Giri by now?
28,
He's
29?
28, yeah, he's still young. But yeah, of course, this is a kind of people who has to, take their chance quickly. Wesley So is 29 as well. All the youngsters are coming. Magnus left for the cycle so far. Who knows? Maybe my prediction will come too. But this should be fast because, this guy Abdusattorov or any other guy in the list we mentioned, Gukesh Egezi, they are just improving by the day and they are so motivated that I wouldn't be surprised that Abdusattorov makes a better TPR performance than Gay in 2023.
Yeah,
We can have a friendly bet.
1-on-1?
Of course. You just said you pick up the Satorov. You want odds now?
Let's have a friendly bet. Maybe the $10 you are owing me, no?
Wow.
That I got from the last time.
it shows a lot of confidence in your statement.
From the gear, yeah? So let's make
After Satorov, Laurent really has your back. Yeah. Anyway, who you got, Peter?
Yeah, I wrote down up to Satorov, but when you started talking, I almost thought what you said made sense, and I want to change my point of view to Geary, but I think up to Satorov might have more worse tournaments than Geary, and that could tilt it in Geary's favor. But no, stuff it. I will go up to Satorov. It could be that he's much stronger than we think. I mean, he was incredibly impressive in Rapid on the first days, 2 days maybe even, I thought. So we will.
But TPR means classical chess, right?
I'm aware of that. My argument is he's less good in Blitz. I think actually more time helps him. He's not such a speed chess specialist, but. I mean, okay, I have to be a hater, so I will take up to Satorov. Sorry. End of
There
discussion.
you go. I'm happy to book more action.
Yeah.
Next big scandal. This is prediction time. I know the lawsuit is coming up. No, there should be some scandals around that if it's happening. I do not know. Other than that,
it's so
I'm good without a scandal.
It's so difficult. Who could have said what happened this year last?
Yeah.
Will Laurent Fressinet get cancelled? Finally. We'll get there.
It's very hard to say, but let's see if there's some more. I would say the big scandal could come from one top player who gets caught cheating.
Oh.
That's what I can see, but I don't see it. But who knows? That you get evidence, and but I don't. Actually, I'm probably very naive, but I don't think, to be very very honest, I don't think there is one. So, but I could be wrong. So let's see. It could come that way.
Well, I could suggest some chess political things, but I think it's not a given that they will be seen as scandals. I think the point with black swans is that you expect they will happen, but you don't know what they are. I mean, I'm pretty sure some scandal will happen, but I mean, you are right that these things that I thought was huge scandals this year, and the three we mentioned, it would be completely impossible to predict them, basically, I would say. So this is actually, I think this is sort of over our pay level to come up with that.
Fair enough.
Next one is easier.
Opening trends. Are there opening trends? Like the Berlin is pretty good, but that's not really a new trend. I think of the last year, but that's no prediction. This d4, knight f6, c4, e6, knight f3, d5, knight c3, c5, cd5, cd4 was around in 21, but it really took over as the main line of many, many top players. That was a big trend. And the reaction was, and I think will keep being, that people are playing more random stuff, like one knight f3, 2 e3. We've seen plenty. One knight f3, 2 g3. Even Magnus has used quite a bit. I don't really see any e4, e5 opening exploding. All of a sudden.
It's your German gamer favorism coming in there, right? He's the knight f3, e3 guy, right? And also very successful.
Yeah, it's been around for a while, but yeah, it's true that Keimer played a lot in the World Rapid. I'm that hard to predict. Yeah. I'm guessing we'll see a lot of Italians. We'll see a lot of Catalans. I mean, what do you expect? People know what the best opening is.
I agree with you, and also the point you make about these scimitars is perhaps, the only exception to the rule that something new will actually come in and, suddenly be there. But what you're saying is that, we will see a World Championship match, But this idea of, back in the days where Kramnik will reintroduce the Berlin and it suddenly becomes popular. So these days are just way, way past, right? I mean, the World Championship match, you will see them playing well-known stuff. They will have some slight details here.
No, you pick the Marshall, the Berlin, or the Petrov, or maybe if you're being kinky, I don't know, the Open Spanish or something. Yeah. And then you sit on it and the opponent will decide if he wants to go there or not.
Yeah, you're basically saying that when the Nepomniachtchi is white, e4, e5, you're willing to take at considerably odds as the first two moves.
Oh, that I'd wager.
Exactly.
If thing sticks with the Marshall or switches to the Berlin,
but he's not going to come out with a knight off, exactly, right? Or whatever.
I'd be stunned.
Yeah. And with what?
Also would be a bad decision.
And is he well, the thing is a bit more difficult. It could be d4, it could be c4, it could be knight f3, right? But d4,
c4, knight f3, g3. I don't think he's going to reinvent himself to become an e4 player to combat the Berlin or the Petrov, mainly the Petrov, in the match. But who knows?
But basically, you are saying the trend is not necessarily quality, but it is that you will try to have informational edge. And you saw Magnus doing pretty well with one b3 in the World Rapid and Blitz, right? It's the future is these kind of weird things.
I think it's flexibility. Yeah. Everybody knows there's nothing with white if you go deep enough. So you try to surprise and catch people if they have spots where you can't go. The very soft Eric Acey looked devastating in d4, knight f6, knight c3. Maybe that's going to become a thing.
I mean, Magnus, I will disagree with you, Peter. He looked better in one e4 than in one b3. I mean, his games in one e4, it was less games maybe, but I remember two of them, two decisive games actually. Abdusatov and in the Rapid, Max Zudlu. I mean, where both times he played one e4 and that was very, very impressive. But in general, it's difficult you have to make a mix and sometimes just try to get a game.
And also Magnus wins with 1b3 because he's Magnus. No?
Yeah,
because of 1b3, right? I mean, he gets Dubov, he gets this end game against Abdusatorov, he gets this complicated middle game, but he's definitely not better. And then against, who was it? Maybe Mathieu Rossian, he got an equal position after 15 moves.
To be fair, Magnus was dead lost against Mamedyarov with e4 and managed to draw. So I think he scored ridiculously well with both. I mean, again, but it becomes Magnus is Magnus, and he's winning games because he's Magnus, not because he plays b3 or e4. So fair enough. Mm-hmm. Yeah, basically,
and it's changing all the time, even in this World Rapid and Blitz.
But that's basically what we're saying. Chess openings becomes less important because it's difficult to get an edge there. People look for edges elsewhere, right? That's more or less the trend you're saying.
Yeah, or for just even broader knowledge and more flexibility.
Exactly.
It's a never-ending thing.
Fair enough. What else?
What will FIDE do wrong next? Oh, that's a category. Where I have strong opinions. I could do a whole episode on this, but we don't have time, so I'm going to go with the obvious one. I have a suspicion they will not put myself, because Laurent disqualified himself with the things he said in this episode, on the appeals committee for the World Championship match, which would be a horrible mistake from everybody involved and a tragedy, not just for myself, but for chess.
And your family.
And my family.
Yeah.
Who would love me being in Mexico. 3 months, because that's the time I need to prepare for it.
The jet lag and so on, yeah?
Of course.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I kind of agree with you, even if you think I disqualified myself, but I'm trying a new strategy now. If you can join them, then I just criticize them.
Critic who then gets a job to be shut up.
I mean, Nigel, he was threatening big time. Maybe it works, actually. You don't have to be friends with them. You have to threaten them. I don't know. I will try all kind of strategy and see if one works out, but...
I just like them too much. I wish I could, but I can't do it.
Come on, you're actually going to end up on the appeals committee. You keep doing it anymore.
Peter!
I think it's a difficult subject for me, but better not be specific, but I'll say, what will they do wrong next? Well, I think they will continue doing wrong, and I don't think they will follow any of my advice, despite I'm delivering it for free on Twitter. I think actually they will keep ignoring that, and that's that's.
It's too many.
Yeah, maybe
too many to apply. Please.
So I expect them to do what they were doing now, and that I don't like it is one thing, but something very specific I cannot not point to be honest.
No, I mean to be fair, it's not very impressive. Let's be more serious and let's disqualify myself fully. It's not very impressive that you have the biggest event of chess, which is a World Championship match, which is a tradition for so long, and 3 or 4 months before you don't have. I mean, maybe in Mexico, maybe in April, maybe everything. I mean, it's not very serious. I mean, let's face it. It's not. Doesn't show a lot of skills to find them.
So you think they're not taking it seriously, or they?
No,
lack
I
the
think they
skills
don't have
find
skills
a
to
new-
find a sponsor. So maybe they should think. Of course, Magnus not playing doesn't help. That's 100% sure. Maybe the form. I don't know. But probably they're taking it serious. Maybe they're not good. But do you think it's a normal situation?
I think every situation is unique, and you don't know what talks there are behind the scenes. But yeah, I don't want to defend FIDE too much. I don't care. I think the track record of delivering tournaments over the last couple of years, you could argue about the venues, the sponsors, and so on. But it hasn't been terrible. Yeah. I'm sure. But we're at the end of the episode, and we have the fantastic final category, Chicken of the Year. I didn't know what this means. Is this a prediction for Chicken of the Year 2023?
No.
Is this the Chicken of the Year 2022?
That prediction.
No. It's basically an award. You become the Chicken of the Year 2022. It's an honor.
Okay. It's 2022. Yeah. All right. Then I think we gotta give it to Giri, who won the weekly categories by an overwhelming margin. Mainly thanks to Laurent, who loyally gave him the award almost every week. So, Team Anish.
Congratulations, you think? Yeah.
Congrats.
Yeah, congratulations, Anish. You don't. It doesn't disappoint every time.
But
even in Blitz, making doors, making it sure not to take too many risks. So always the same. He's working, but nothing to do. I mean, but he's not. Let's face it. It's a close call with Wesley, I would say. So, but still.
No, I actually like Peter's nomination much better. I was jealous when I saw it, but I didn't think of it.
I mean, I'm wrong. I think, Giri is sort of a chicken on a weekly basis, right? I mean, it's a general thing. But in the bigger schemes, I actually took Ali Reza this year because, we wanted to see him much more, simply. We miss him there. And also, I mean, come out, defend your new country, play for the French team. I understand, you might want to have better teammates, but even so, there is World Championship, there's Olympiad to be won, right? I mean, we don't see him in the World Rapid and Blitz. I mean, and first.
Okay, you cannot blame him for not going to the World Team.
That I understand for political reasons, and that is fair enough. I am fine with that. But then play the others instead. I mean, at first I thought Ali Reza had a bad chess year this year. Not at all. He actually played extremely well in many of the events he played. Of course, candidates not. But he's young. I understand there could be a ton of personal reasons. He's settling in Paris, yada, yada, but we're not supposed to care much about that. It's simply, that's a player I would like to see much more. I mean, I want to see him compete, and, that I miss.
No, but in a way, I tend to agree with you that I would like to see him more, but when he's playing, I mean, it's anything but a chick. I mean, he's playing so, when you look at his games, I mean,
he's not playing.
He's pushing.
He shows up at least.
I mean, 1 month it's sandwich. He played he won Classical, he won Rapid and Blitz.
Wow.
And then he played
1 month.
960.
It's a long year.
1 month, then candidate.
2 months.
It's a lot of prep.
2 months.
That's it.
But that's the point of chicken. If you don't show up,
He played Grand Chess too.
then it's, but still quite limited.
He won Grand Chess too.
Exactly. We're not debating if he's a great player, and we're not debating if he plays entertain.
We want to see him
just want
play.
to see him more.
That's the whole thing.
We all do, I agree.
Uh-huh.
He's making bikes like Fischer, actually. Fischer was doing bikes like this.
Exactly, and I will also think Fischer was a chicken because he would only play when he was completely sure he would succeed. And no, come and play. Maybe you don't win, maybe you do, but we want to find out and we want to enjoy it.
All right. Nobody took Magnus, for chickening out from the next World Championship match.
The point is, I don't think he's chickening out of it. He just doesn't want to play. It's no. I mean, else he would be an obvious candidate. But I just think that's not his motivation.
I agree. This brings us to the end of this both recap and predictions episode, which told you everything, not just about 2022, but also about 2023. We'll be back next week with probably FIDE predictions. Yeah, that's the big tournament starting where Magnus Carlsen's playing. All the youngsters are playing, with the exception of Ali Reza. It's really a dream field, everyone you could hope for. And it's going to be very exciting. We will tell you who wins, who will play what, and many more things in next week's preview episode. Any last words, guys?
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Thank you, Laurent. That's also going to be my final words.
See you next week.
See you next
Bye.
week. Bye-bye.
Bye.